getting way too fun there. Let me get my other presentation up here. All right, so welcome to another Turn Up Tuesday. Wild reports this week. Give me 1 second here. Let me. Sorry, Mr. Johnson, you had a little too much background noise there. All right. So as far as our agenda, this is our agenda for today, the welcome, which is this is currently right now. And distance learning agreement we'll cover in a second. We'll have updates from Mr. Johnson. We'll have another leadership corner from Miss Shannon. She will also present the awards for this week, and then we'll have a question and answer session for students. So welcome everybody to our Turn Up Tuesday. So rules of engagement, if you don't have your cameras turned off, please do so right now. That helps on the bandwidth. It helps so that when students do join, and they do join a little bit late, it doesn't take up all of the internet and it doesn't kick people off multiple times. So if you have your camera turned on, please turn it off for right now. Please mute your mics. Also, whenever you do ask a question, put it in the chat box that you have a question. We'll get to you. When you are called on, we just ask that you turn your camera on so that we can actually see you. But as far as when we're just going through the presentation, we're talking about this stuff, just want to make sure that you are, we have enough bandwidth to keep things working. So Ms. Karen, if you could do me a huge favor, I don't mean to call you out, but if you could turn both of your cameras off, please, that would be helpful so that any student who is joining, they can join and not get kicked off. So thank you very much. All right, distance learning agreements. This is something that we just got sent out as far as the this form, and this came from Department of Labor. So this is not our form, and I'm going to kind of go over what it is and what the purpose is and what it looks like. So the distance learning agreement, the background information, Department of Labor understands that this is a troubling time for all students. However, they have requested that all students be given the opportunities to continue their education in the Job Corps program. What's important is that you understand your responsibilities in the distance learning phase. That is a mouthful. Your success hinges on your engagement with your studies, even if you're at home and not on center. Or if you're not, if you are on center, it's one of those things that's going to help too. So what is the distance agreement? It's an agreement form that you're required to fill out and return to the center. I'm going to get a little bit more into depth as far as what it is and how we're going to return it and all that kind of good stuff. Mr. Budson is here to kind of assist with that as well. But the form outlines your responsibilities and expectations to be successful while in the Job Corps program. When we return students, not everybody's going to be coming back at the same time. This is to ensure that you're safe and that we have to stagger the entry for all the students, right? So even when we start and we re-enter students, some of you will continue in the distance learning phase, which means as we start bringing students back in, some of you will still be off-center. And in doing that, it helps us to make sure that that any kind of a risk or spread of the virus is minimal. Even when you come back onto center, you may be completing certain distance learning activities while you're in your dorm room. So we're using a blended learning type of scenario to kind of help. And the distance learning agreement is basically your agreement to say, hey, I'm going to stick this out. I'm going to keep on going. So what does it look like? Now, this form is 2 pages. Obviously, I took pictures of the form itself and put them on the screen so that you guys can see them, so that you actually have, you can actually see it better than me just sharing just the form itself. So when you get the form, it's going to have a couple of different, so if you get it electronically, you're going to see these little red boxes. These red boxes are required fields. It means that you have to enter something in there. So basic information, what is your name? It's your student name. You just click on that box and you type your name in. It'll automatically do what it's got to do. It's been set up that way. The Job Corps Center or Civilian Conservation Center has already been filled in for our center, so you don't have to worry about that one. Now, if you get a blank form in the mail, then you'll have to write that in, obviously. Distance learning address. So where are you learning from? You'll have to pardon me here. I just got a text message, so snooze that for a second. So what is your address? Where are you learning from? The first box is required. The second box if you need additional space for your address. Moving down through the page, it'll say distance learning phone number. That, again, is a required field. What is your phone number? What's the best way to contact you? Distance learning email address. This can either be your personal email address or your Job Corps email address, whichever one you check most often. Then it talks about the basic student responsibilities. So as far as your basic student responsibilities, establish a daily routine for online and other remote learning activities. This can be agreed upon with your academic counselor. Some places have academic counselors. We don't necessarily have a specific academic counselor. That could be your instructor, it could be your team manager, it could be the CDS, it could also be just your Job Corps counselor itself. Identify a space in your home or other location to participate in your distance learning. Complete your assignments with integrity and academic honesty. What does that mean? That just means don't cheat. Even if you have the ability to, don't cheat. Integrity means doing what's right even when nobody's looking. Meet deadlines and due dates. If you have an assignment that's due on Monday, make sure you meet that deadline. Communicate with your teachers about any challenges that you're having with your environment, your training schedule, other barriers to participation. And observe the rules established by the center for your online behavior. Moving down that page, attendance and academic instruction. You're going to engage in your academic instruction according to your individual training schedule specifically, and this will be filled in. Now, this little note here at the bottom, this part will be further discussed with you, between you and your instructors and team managers. I'm going to get to that here in just a second as far as what that all specifically means, and I think Mr. Budson might be able to add a little bit more into that here in a second. On the second page, this is where the second page comes in. So it asks you to describe your learning environment in the, what space do you have in your house and in your current location, and just ask you to fill in, I have a table, I have a chair, I have a mouse, whatever the case is, just want you to describe that. Check your learning space for adequate lighting and seating. Obviously, we don't want you to sit in the middle of the highway to do your distance learning. I know it sounds goofy, but it's one of those things. Follow the center's rules for reporting time spent on distance learning. Use any government furnished equipment for participation. And follow the attendance requirements. So I believe our attendance requirements, if I'm not mistaken, is 20 hours a week. So that means that we request that you join us online participation for 20 hours a week. That doesn't mean you have to do 20 hours in one day. That does mean that over a 7-day period that you spend at least 20 hours worth of work, right? And then towards the bottom of the page, the second page, it says, it has a place for your signature that is required and a date, which is required. If you are a minor, this is important. This is a big key here. If you are a minor, you have to get your parent or your guardian to sign off on this. That's because we know that parents and guardians assist us quite a bit with your learning and assist us with keeping you engaged. So if you're a minor student, if you're below the age of 18, we need a parent and a guardian to sign off. Okay. As far as, so I have the form, now what? So most students are going to receive this form via email. Some of you may not have the technology that allows you to fill out this form via your email. I'm not sure how well this form is going to work if you're trying to operate it from a cell phone. It is a PDF form, which means it might get a little wonky if you try and do it on your phone, unless you have Adobe on your phone. So either it's going to be mailed to you or it's going to be sent to you via email. So either situation, and I have a mistake in here. However, I haven't seen the change yet. But either situation, you have to fill the form out and return it to the center within 3 days of you receiving it. Now, on a national call today, they did extend that for 7 days. However, we haven't received that in writing yet, so we're going to stick with the 3 days for right now. So once you receive it, you have 3 days to return it to us. If you get it by mail, it's going to come with a stamped and addressed envelope to return it in, just like your what is that goofy application thing? Wisely Pay card, just like that. This has a lot less boxes and it's a lot less confusing. So if you get it by email, all you have to do is fill it out and send it back to your team manager or CDS or counselor or instructor within those 3 days. So whoever contacts you to discuss the agreement will be the person that you return it to. So for CPP, one of the instructors are going to contact you and provide you with their email and their contact information if you don't already have it. So when CPP calls you and says, hey, I need you to fill out this form, they send it to you, that's who you need to send it back to. For Team 1, construction trades like carpentry, auto, HBI, welding, you're going to either talk to Mr. Norman, Miss Nimi, or Mr. Monty. So one of those 3 is going to contact you. That's the person that you would need to send it back to. If you get contacted by Miss Nimi, don't send it to Mr. Monty. So we want to make sure that kind of understand that. For Team 2, the service trades, either Miss Talandra, Miss Addie, or Miss Tiffany is going to contact you. Again, whoever contacts you, that's who we want you to send that form to. Mr. Budson, did you want to add anything to this part?
No, I don't think so. I think you covered it for the most part. Just again to reiterate, this is just an agreement basically saying that you'll participate in the distance learning program. To be honest, and I think Department of Labor realizes this probably should have went out about 3 months ago. But this is just saying you agree to it, right? These are kind of the stakes that you need to uphold in order to remain in the program, in order to be eligible to come back, in order to continue to be getting paid. And then our requirements, as expected, and this will be outlined within that document when you receive it, is that you participate for 20 hours. So yeah, I mean, really, that's kind of the gist of it, John. I think you covered it well, and I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. So when we get to the end where we have questions, I'll let you guys ask any questions you guys may have. However, I'm going to toss it over to Mr. Johnson for some center updates, and I'm going to kill this presentation for a second so that he can talk, and yeah, we'll go there.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks again, John, for a job well done thus far, especially on that very important information in terms of the agreement. What I do want to let all the students know is that today was the second day that staff returned back to center. We talked about it a little bit on last week. Staff is required to come in at different times and spend at least 4 hours on center. 4 hours on center, then also 4 hours working at home. Yes, all staff is required to come in through security, and we're also required to have our temperature check upon entry. We have to go through security. This is a new norm for us, and we're definitely understanding now what it's going to be like when you as staff, as students come back on center. Staff is also required to wear a mask. When we enter into the building, we're required to wear a mask. Once we're in our offices, we can close the door and take the mask off. But I've had several staff come to my office today, and first thing we do is put our mask back on. So that is just a new norm that we are having to do as staff. So we just want you guys to know that the same thing that we're doing is going to be expected for you upon your return back to the center. John has already talked about the agreement. That is going to be very, very important. Mr. Budson's already talked about it. I want to really put emphasis on how important that is. Now, a couple of weeks ago, our center was approved to receive approximately 120 Chromebooks. We're definitely expecting those within the next few weeks or so. So we have been set aside to receive 120 Chromebooks for our students. So this agreement and those Chromebooks, granted, they're going to go hand in hand. So that's going to be very, very important on how we as a center, from academics and from CTT and other areas, how we distribute those Chromebooks to the students. So please ensure that you get the word out about those agreements. John stated the CPP will be contacting, and your team managers from each particular team will be contacting. So we're excited about the 120 Chromebooks. On Thursday, a few of us with Mr. Buxton will be meeting with the president of Monarch State University because we want to just get some insight on their reopening plan. They're definitely a bigger college, a bigger school than we are, and quite naturally more students than we are. So on Thursday, approximately about 1:30, a few of us will be meeting with Dr. Shirley, who is the president of Monarch State, so we can get some ideas and see what they're doing, so we can kind of line ourselves up, not only with DOL, but what's going on locally. And last but not least, Friday, we will be meeting with Mr. Bunson, a few of us again, to kind of finalize the reopening orientation plan. So once we get that meeting with Dr. Shirley on Thursday, Friday we'll be meeting with the reopening plan. Ms. Shannon and I became a bit today a long time and discuss different ideas in terms of the orientation piece of the process and how that's going to work for our students as you guys return back to the center. That's all the updates that I have right now. I do know residential, there's plenty of trucks coming in next week, and if anybody in residential can give some updates on that if they're online, we would greatly appreciate it because they was over moving furniture and making room for the new stuff. So we're excited about that also. That's all I have at this time, John. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I'm going to go back to my screen here. Hide that thing. This thing is just being goofy today. All right. Now I have I think, yep, it's Miss Shannon. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. So Miss Shannon, you want to do your you had a leadership piece that you wanted to do before we got to the awards.
Yes. Hey, everybody. So I just wanted to spend a few minutes just to talk about leadership. I sent out an email today to the distance learning leaders that I have right now, basically outlining what the expectations are. And I've received some feedback with that from them, which is good. However, there's so much that we're relying on. I mean, we don't want to put the weight of the world on your little shoulders or anything, but like you guys as like if you're a distance learning leader, you're going to be pivotal with getting your peers acclimated to the center when you all return. So I just want to talk 1 minute about this whole idea of new normal because the way that it seems to me, it seems like people think that we're going to return and it's going to be life as normal. Like if I lived in female 1, I'm going to come back and live in female 1. And that's not necessarily the case. So, I mentioned last week, that we're just asking for you to be open and go with the flow and change and everything. And so that goes for leadership as well. I am going to be reaching out to people, specifically all of you who show up all the time. And trust me, I know who you are because I'm the one that writes your names down and I take attendance. So thank you so much for tuning in with us and spending your Tuesday evenings with us. And that's all I have about leadership. So if you have any questions, you can certainly type those in the box and then I'll answer those after we do the awards.
Which is next, and it is, I think, probably the most fabulous of of time in the day. So, Ms. Shannon, I will let you take
All
it.
right. So student of the week by Miss Dawn Ward is Raquel Vivier. So yay, Raquel. And she just got back too. So for her to already be recognized as a student of the week, that's awesome. Next. Another person who just got back is Maverick. And so I'm so excited that he's also student of the week. He's kicking booty and taking names too. So yay, Maverick.
Nice job.
Anna Long. Anna Long was selected from CPP because she found a place to live, and she's also been working on her own. And then she also stays up to date with her distance learning as well. So yay, Anna, great time management.
Sorry, can't type and do this at the same time.
Miss Vicky told me that Haley Lindquist has been rocking it out the last week. So yay, Haley, if you do talk to her. Brianne Montgomery from OA. Yay, Brianne. Also, Max Palmer from OA. So yay, Maxwell. Letitia Stoneman from Culinary Arts. Yay, Letitia. And Andrew Boren by Miss Hyatt. So yay, Andrew. Kelton Rohde from Auto. Way to go, Kelton.
Come on.
And I think this is final, but finally, Caleb Sabata was elected from me. It has been a long time since I've been in contact with Caleb, and he actually called me last week. And so I thought that was awesome. He got a new car. So if you talk to him, he wants to talk about his whips, which is really cool. So yay, Caleb. Congratulations, everybody.
Everybody gets a gold medal.
And that's all I have.
Obviously, metaphorically speaking, because I don't have enough money to pay for everybody to get a gold medal. So it has come down to the time of the week that I know you all look forward to, and that's the question and answer phase. So I'm going to kill this presentation and turn it back on to just so we can see everything. And if you do have a question, type something into the box there that you have a question, and we will call on you and get you up on the screen. I know there's questions. Mr. Moore has a question. Go ahead, sir.
So with this new paper, I was wondering that do I have to, with OA, I have to have a computer with me because with all that, well, a lot of it's online. I have a phone. So how would I do that to work 20 hours?
So, I'm sorry, I misunderstood what your question was. You'll have to rephrase it for me.
Sorry about that. Well, I was thinking, do I have to buy a computer for OA, or would I be given one? Sorry, it's just been.
So we did a survey of all the students who are on center and what your technology needs are. When the Chromebooks get here, the Chromebooks are going to those people who were identified on that survey as far as who needs, who has no technology or has limited technologies. So I can't tell you exactly what the survey says because I don't know for sure, other than the fact that I do know that anybody who has a lack of technology, as in a computer, would be one of those to get those Chromebooks.
All right.
And in order to get to those 20 hours, do what you can on the phone If you need anything paper and pencil wise, I know there's worksheets in OA. We'll mail those to you, give you an envelope, and you can mail those back. Hop on the calls like you've been doing religiously. And if we have to schedule times for you to meet with, Mr. Gary Brown or whatever instructors you may have in academics, we can do that, right? So it's 20 hours across all areas. Attending this counts as an hour. Just participate as much as you can, okay? We'll take things into account, and if you are tech deficient, we can work with that, right? So if the only thing you have is your phone, we can work with that for the time being. And then, like Mr. McLemore said, when Chromebooks are available, we can get that to you, okay?
Thank you. It's just right now without a computer, OA, just mainly OA. It's just I don't know what to do with that. I know I can do some of it with with pen and pencil. But not all of it.
I got you. Just do what you can. Stay in contact with your instructors, and we'll be working with them to try to get you as many hours as possible. Like you're not if you can't get the work done because you don't have the technology, you're not getting kicked out of the program, right? It's nothing like that. We'll use common sense. We're not gonna do that to you. So just get as close as you can without it, and then when we do get the Chromebooks, we'll get them out to you guys.
All right. Well, another question is that should I don't know, like should I just cut off my work or quit my job?
No.
No.
So where are you working at right now?
I'm working at Arby's.
Okay, yeah, and I know that doesn't necessarily pertain to your trade, but if you need the money and you need that for whatever reason, continue working. We can make note of that. We've been kind of pestering the national office for an answer as far as like how many of those hours we can count towards your distance learning. But I am absolutely going to tell you right now, do not quit that job.
Okay, until I get word that we're going back to Job Corps.
Correct. And again, as soon as we know when you guys will be returning, we'll let you know. But again, it's kind of flexible right now.
All right. Thank you for the information because I really needed that. I'm just, for the last week and a half, I haven't been doing anything. I've just been going to work 9 to 10. It's just been, stressful.
Jonathan, that's one of those things that don't quit the job, even if you're doing cooking or even if you're doing the front desk type of stuff where you're handling money. You're still in a customer service position, and it's gaining you experience anyways. So don't think you have to just quit because you can't make the money out. You're still, from what I know, you're still rocking out as much as you possibly can, and so if you're able to juggle between just using a phone and still going to work and still rocking out the time, then keep on trucking. I see that.
Yeah, 60 miles. 60-ish miles. 55. It's actually less.
Jacob Glover, you can go ahead, sir. Give me 2 seconds here, and I will.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
This is Jacob Glover. I wasn't here last week. Is that going to affect me in any way?
No.
No? All right. Just
No.
wanted to ask that.
No, and that's one of those things where last week I was trying to get the recording, and I realized that when somebody logs in before I log into the meeting, somehow or another, that person owns the video, and I couldn't get the recorded video to actually upload to YouTube. I don't quite understand Google why it did that. But it basically, the video recording that I had said that the student owned the video, and I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. It's my meeting. So you're 100% fine. The big update was the Wisely Paid Card stuff, which I did a totally separate video for just that, and went through all that stuff. So as long as you watched that and you turned your stuff in and you weren't on that list, you were fine.
Okay, that's good to know. And yeah, with that, the new Chromebooks that the Department of Labor that gave us access, I'm pretty sure that I'll be getting in a lot more hours than I have currently been because I'm lacking by a lot.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Chromebooks are going to help us quite a bit, especially for you guys. This is kind of an unprecedented time, and it's an unprecedented. It's a weird situation. I don't think in the 7 years I've been working in Job Corps, I've never seen them do this. So I think they get it. They understand that you guys are struggling, and they want you guys to succeed too, just as much as we do. So I'm looking in the chat box. I know that there's other questions. Jacob Yellowbear, do you have a question, or was that just a comment to Mr. Somebody else? No? Okay. No other questions at all? Well, if that's the case, then I will let some folks besides me talk for a minute. Miss Dawn, do you have anything that you wanted to add?
Nope. I'm just reminding everybody that, if you have any questions or problems getting into your Google Classroom, feel free to call me, text me, email me. I'm around all the time to help you guys out with anything you need.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Mr. Jacob Bear. Wow, I can't talk. I see that Mr. Matt from the rec said he needs to talk to you after the assembly. So if you want to hang out for a few minutes after we end the assembly, that way he can connect with you. Let's see here. Scroll down my list. Come on, why is my computer not working? Go figure. Mr. Johnson, do you have anything else you wanted to add, sir?
No, John, great assembly. Just kudos to everybody that got awards today. And thanks again, as Ms. Shannon said, for those that are tuning in, staff and students. We definitely appreciate it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Ms. Shannon, do you have anything to add?
Just to drop a nugget. So next week, we have something really exciting planned. So if you never log into another one, you might want to log in next Tuesday or just join us anyways. But yeah, we'll have a really, really cool reveal and you'll want to see it. Okay, that's all I have.
I agree. Before I ask Mr. Budson if he has anything, I actually have one more little nugget of a reminder. If you're in CNA, Miss Allison sent out a reminder as far as the WebEx call-in information or login information. So if you're in CNA, tomorrow your panels are starting. I don't remember what time. I forgot. And also on Thursday, I don't remember which hard trade it is, but it is one of the hard trades, and they will be sending out reminders for that. So make sure you guys are logging in at your times, or if you need a different time to log in, make sure that you're doing that and you're contacting those staff so that they can get you in for your panels. Panels are obviously required, and it's one of those things that we still have to check in with you. We still have to do. Mr. Budson, do you have anything that you wanted to add at the end here? I think he left. He did leave. That was terrible. I just called on somebody that wasn't even here. I wonder if he got kicked for some reason. I don't know. Let's see here. With no other questions and no other comments, I guess I didn't even ask. Residential staff, did you guys have anything? I apologize. I completely missed that you guys were even here. No? Recreation, besides Mr. Matt, who wants to talk to Jacob Yellowbeer? No? Okay, well, that does it for the assembly then. It's a little early, but that's okay. So you guys are good to go. Thanks for coming, everybody. And we'll have another meeting next week and a special reveal